Hi, I'm Gabriel Deukmaji, the CitySmartLiving Renovation Specialist, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about refinishing hardwood floors. So it's one of the things that we do all the time in our renovation projects. It's an important thing to have at your disposal, and having a great team of contractors who can handle it is more valuable than you'd imagine. This floor was actually just done by our experts, and they did a fantastic job with this red oak stain on this floor. It just looks gorgeous. But some important things for homeowners to know as to whether refinishing a floor is going to be an option, and something that you're going to need to take into account when you put your floors in originally. So there's a few things that I want to talk about. Engineered floors. Engineered floors are basically wood veneer on top of a certain type of wood flooring, usually like a plywood substrate. So basically you have, a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch of plywood, and then on top of that is a veneer. So this is kind of like the way that a lot of furniture is done. There's some cabinetry that's done with veneers. It's more affordable, but it's also something that makes it possible to install hardwood floors properly on concrete surfaces. So if you're going to be doing flooring in a basement, or if you're going to be doing flooring in a condominium, for example, a huge number of condos have concrete between each level, and you just can't do a solid wood on that concrete without creating issues. Some of the other things to consider are solid wood floors. So for example, the floor we're actually standing on today is a solid oak floor, meaning there's no engineered floor part of it. It's just a straight solid piece of oak. Solid floors are going to be more expensive than most engineered floors, just especially because when you're dealing with rarer woods. So for example, if you want to go with a hickory or a Brazilian cherry, the engineered version of that floor is going to be much more affordable than the solid version of that floor. And not everybody needs the solid floor, so take it into account with your needs. In this particular case, the home already had oak flooring, so we just refinished the oak that was here. There's a couple of images I want you to take a look at. The first one here, this is an engineered floor. So you'll see from the side there that you can kind of tell there's a veneer on top with the plywood underneath it. That kind of floor can sometimes be refinished, sometimes cannot. The process of refinishing involves a few steps, and we'll show you some of those steps in some of our other videos. But one of the steps that's involved is sanding off the original clear coat finish, as well as the first layer of the wood in order to expose the unstained wood. So one of the ways that you can tell if your floor is engineered or solid wood is actually to go to like an air conditioning vent duct that's in the floor. So there's one here behind me, I don't know if you can see it. But when you look at that, if you take the floor cover off, you can usually see the side of the wood, and there you'll be able to tell whether it's got that thin veneer on top or whether it's solid. Most veneer floors that are high quality can be sanded and refinished at least once, many of them 2 and 3 times, but a lot of the stuff that's done by builders is done with a little bit more economy level wood, let's call it, and that doesn't resand and refinish very well. So sometimes during the sanding process, we actually strip away the entire veneer, which creates a problem when you're restaining the wood. Sanding and refinishing a floor takes a certain amount of time. And bear in mind that anytime you're sanding this big of a surface, you're probably going to create a lot of dust. It's an important note to consider, especially if you're going to be painting and doing other things along with your sand and refinish project. So bear that in mind and make sure your contractors are working together. An important note as well, other than just the dust it creates, is that you're not going to be able to walk on that newly sanded and refinished floor for about 24 hours after they put the last coat on it. And the reasoning why you don't want to walk on it is just to keep the stain undisturbed, let it go in evenly. But there's also a thin coat of clear polyurethane that they put on top of the wood to give it that sheen and protect it from water and other damage. And if you step on it during that time, you can very easily strip that polyurethane coat away. So I hope you learned a couple of good important things about refinishing hardwood, and please check back for more Renovations by Gabe. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and like us here on YouTube, and be sure to check out CitySmartLiving.com. Thanks so much, and we look forward to hearing from you.